Now at 9, voters in Pittsburgh will decide whether to continue a sales tax that benefits the police and fire departments. Plus, the Joplin City Council will decide the future of a proposed B&B theater coming to the city. Plus,
the U.S. making another significant pledge to Ukraine to help in its war with Russia. I'm Steve Harrigan in Kyiv. That story ahead.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Pittsburgh residents will vote whether to continue a public safeties tax in the next election. The tax went into effect in March of 2014, and KOAM's Carrie Worthen talks with the Pittsburgh Chief of Police about the need and the continued sales tax.
The focus on the community is number one with our agency.
Pittsburgh Police Chief Brent Nargis told me that the public safety sales tax allows the departments to better enhance their services to the community with technology, equipment, and more.
As far as staffing goes, we've had a number of patrol officer positions budgeted, along with a standalone drug enforcement unit, additional dispatchers, a crime analyst position, along with a special drug prosecutor.
I spoke with one Pittsburgh citizen about his thoughts on continuing the public sales tax.
I grew up here, was gone a long time, and chose to come back. And one of the great things about Pittsburgh, it's not only moving in the right direction and doing well, but it's safe. The police department does a great job, fire department is good, so actually reduces our insurance to some degree. I mean, you're not going to be rich on your savings, but it does help.
ISO, or Insurance Services Office, creates ratings for fire departments and their surrounding communities. The ratings indicate how well equipped departments are to put out fires in that community.
They've been able to improve the city's overall ISO rating from a 3 to a 2, which is huge for a community our size.
If the public safety sales tax is renewed, it will continue for the next 10 years at a rate of 0.5%. Any
purchases, sales tax that is generated in the city itself, if it's a current resident in Pittsburgh or a visitor to Pittsburgh, be it a college student or just somebody traveling through town, would benefit from that.
In Pittsburgh, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Pittsburgh residents will vote on the public safeties tax on April 11th in a special election. If renewed, the tax continues until the end of 2033. The Joplin City Council is meeting tomorrow, and one of the things on the agenda is a proposed B&B theater location at the southeast corner of 32nd Street and Hammonds Boulevard. If approved by the council, the new location will feature laser projection, heated leather recliners, and a bar and grill, as well as an arcade.
We've had a presence in the area for a long time. I think we bring a lot in terms of entertainment and economic opportunity to the area. And so it's just a chance. It's largely a technicality, but also an opportunity for us to just kind of present what we do and what we hope the theater brings to the community.
The total cost for the project is estimated to be more than $33 million. Some area first responders gathered at Downstream Casino today for the annual Guardians Conference. The Guardians Conference is an event where experts in the emergency response field meet and share the expertise in their fields. Classes will be held with topics ranging from burns to cardiac events and farm accidents.
So it's just an opportunity for us to teach some of the different aspects of our job to the guys, some updates. And really in the Midwest, we just don't have that many opportunities. So we have the venue and we have the opportunity to do that.
There will be an award luncheon for participants and 2 guests of their choice on Wednesday at Downstream Casino. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, it actually turned out to be a great Monday for us today. We were warming up over the weekend. Look at this, almost 70 degrees. Started at 36, average highs 52 for this time of the year. We do have a lot of clouds. We're going to have partly cloudy skies tonight, and clouds are really going to thicken up for us tomorrow ahead of our next storm system out to the west. But temperatures are going to stay pretty nice once we go into Tuesday. 48 in Nevada, it's 50 in Monette, Grand Lake 49, Parsons a little bit cooler at 41 degrees. As we go through the night, we'll drop back into the upper 30s, and then a quick warm up. Partly sunny skies back to 52 by 10 a.m. All right, mild and windy through Wednesday, but strong thunderstorms Wednesday morning, turning sharply colder Thursday and Friday. So I'm going to have all these details for you here in just a bit.
All right, see you then. Authorities say an Ottawa County, Oklahoma pastor accused of sexually assaulting a juvenile was physically assaulted by a member of the victim's family. Court records say 42-year-old Fred Gammon, Jr. of Miami, is charged with child sexual abuse. Police say he paid $35,000 to bail himself out. They also say Gammon was later attacked by a member of the victim's family and hit several times. Authorities say the abuse allegedly began when Gammon became the pastor of Wayside Assembly of God in Wyandotte. President Biden making an unannounced stop in Kyiv this morning. The president meeting with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and offering more help as Ukraine's war with Russia nears the start of a second year. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has more from Kyiv, Ukraine.
In a defiant display of solidarity, President Biden making a surprise stop in Kyiv, Ukraine, on his way to Warsaw, Poland, to mark the February 24th anniversary of the invasion by Russia. The president sharing this powerful message.
You're succeeding against all and every expectation except your own. We have every confidence that you're going to continue to prevail.
To help the Ukrainians triumph, the U.S. authorizing another $500 million in military aid.
That announcement includes artillery ammunition for HIMARS and howitzers, more javelins, anti-armor systems, air surveillance radars to help protect Ukrainian people from aerial bombardments.
Such an important package is an unmistakable signal that Russian revenge attempts will have no chance, and together we will protect our Ukrainian cities and our people from Russian terror.
President Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spending about 5 hours together, holding talks about next steps in what Biden called a brutal and unjust war, laying wreaths and holding a moment of silence for thousands of Ukrainian soldiers killed since 2014, and reiterating the U.S.'s commitment in the palace's guest book, closing his comments with "Glory to Ukraine."
I can tell you for sure our intelligence community is tracking closely reflections in Russia, how Vladimir Putin views this visit.
White House officials said they notified Russia of the visit several hours in advance. In Kyiv, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Coming up, Crawford County Mental Health announces a new clinic to provide same-day access to patients in need. Crawford County Mental Health is announcing the launch of their new same-day access program. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
Same-day access will be a new method of accessibility for services where the Mental Health Center offers intake assessment on the same day without a scheduling delay or wait list.
They come in and we do an assessment we call an intake. And at that intake, we determine what mental illness they might be diagnosed with and what services our agency would have that would best fit their needs. And so we have a small discussion at the end of that interview and make referrals that the patient would want.
The new program comes as the agency is trying to improve more patient access.
Well, our agency is trying to get certified as a CCBHC, so that's a Certified Community Behavioral Health Center, and improving our access, meaning quickening the time that we can get patients in is a part of that. And so we are launching this model to be faster and to meet that certification.
The new director of same-day access and housing, Jason Southard, says the county had the community in mind.
A number of reasons, primarily so that folks can get help faster. When people are in crisis or people need help, tomorrow or the next day often is not soon enough. So we really think this is going to improve efficiency and the quality of care and how fast we can serve more people in our community.
The agency will be able to do intakes from other areas.
We can do intakes for folks from anywhere, but if they reside in other catchment areas, as we call them, we likely would refer out to other agencies to best serve them in their communities if they don't live close by.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagun Bomdali, KOAM News.
The same-day access program officially starts on March 20th. Researchers announced a man in Germany has been cured of HIV, making him one of the very few people on Earth to be successfully treated for the virus. HIV typically lasts a lifetime, but new treatment may offer hope for a permanent cure. The 53-year-old patient tested positive for HIV in 2008. He underwent a stem cell transplant in 2013 to treat lung cancer, and luckily enough, his donor had a rare mutation that stopped HIV from entering his cells. Today, he has no detectable traces of HIV. Doctors emphasize more research is needed. A study finds that more than 1 in 5 children and adolescents show signs of disordered eating. The study, published in JAMA Pediatrics, analyzed over 30 studies from 16 countries and found that 22% of kids between the ages of 6 to 18 years old exhibited signs of disordered eating. Signs can include distorted self-image, strict dietary rules, and scrutinizing how much one exercises in relation to eating. These behaviors can progress over time and lead to a person being diagnosed with an eating disorder. Doug is back with a complete look at the forecast and later. Missouri Southern and Pitt State baseball and softball players received this week's MIAA awards. Jacob Leonard will have that and more in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a great Monday for us today. We actually had pretty good temperatures, upper 60s for highs, which is great in the second half of February. It looks pretty good right now. We do have a lot of mid and upper level clouds. Nice shot to Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our past 36 hours, starting to warm up. We hit about 60 yesterday, upper 60s for us today, and we're going to stay in that range as we go through the next couple days. Stockton 44, 50 in Anderson, Pittsburgh 46, Nowata sitting at 48, Yates Center here warmer at 51 degrees. Let's go outside, 7th and Rangeline sitting at 47, a southerly wind, very light, humidity is at 54%. Through the night, we do drop back upper 30, so a little bit on the chilly side. Quick warm up back to 51 by 10 a.m. We are going to see clouds increasing throughout the entire day. We do have partly to mostly cloudy skies out there right now. These are very thin clouds, but they're going to stick around tonight as our next storm system is starting to brew. You can see this spin right off the coast of California. That system will affect us, and then this system, Pacific Northwest, is going to produce a major snowstorm across the northern plains, but that will bring cooler air in to the region by the time we head into the second half of the week. All right, dry tonight, but let's go to tomorrow night, 1 a.m., 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Wednesday morning, 1 p.m. So you can see our rain chances shoot up as we go into Wednesday morning. So let's go through time. Tonight, backing into the upper 30s. Clouds increase tomorrow. Look at the winds. They slowly shift to the southeast. So we're going to be mid to upper 50s to near 60 by noon. A lot of clouds during the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies, but look at our temps. Upper 60s to near 70, so it turns out to be a great day. Clouds increase tomorrow night or thicken. After midnight, here's 3 a.m., few scattered showers start popping up. And then by Wednesday morning, here come thunderstorms, a band of showers, thunderstorms on the Kansas side, kind of strengthen a bit as they push into the metro. Some of these could be strong, not expecting severe, but we could get some very small hail and some gusty winds out of these on Wednesday morning. These will continue, periods of showers and thunderstorms, heaviest pushing east, late morning. By the noon hour, last little batch rotates through, and then we break out and see sunshine by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures still looking pretty good. All right, rainfall amounts with this next storm system. I think most of us, at least a 1/4 of an inch, but I think majority of us, a 1/2 inch upwards to an inch of rain, which will be nice to see. Here's your day planner tomorrow, starting at 39, 61 by noon, 65 by 5. High temp up to 68 during the afternoon, 69 on Wednesday, those morning storms. Much colder on Thursday. We do have a couple waves heading into the weekend that will give us some showers, rain, snow mix, possible next Monday. We'll talk more about that in the second half hour.
Yeah, it was so warm earlier.
Yeah, it felt great.
Jacob and I went out in between shows and tossed the pigskin around for a little bit.
Oh, thanks for a heads up, man.
Well, you can come out tomorrow if you got some time. All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up, a new report has some good news for prospective home buyers. Some good news if you're in the market to buy a new home. While home prices are still climbing in some places across the country, new data shows some U.S. cities are seeing significant price drops. Reporter Cole Higgins has a look at where houses have fallen and why some economists say the price declines may be on the way.
Despite the housing market still seeing soaring prices across the country, some regions are actually seeing double-digit price drops from their peak last year.
We will see house prices continue to weaken in different parts of the country. Now, of course, house prices rose very strongly during much of the pandemic, and we're just retracing some of those price gains.
According to the National Association of Realtors, the price for a single-family median home increased 4% in the fourth quarter from a year ago to more than $378,000. But their data also revealed in some markets, prices are actually declining. San Francisco had the biggest price drop in the country, down 6.1% from a year ago and 21% lower from its peak. A similar decline in nearby San Jose, California, which was the most expensive place to purchase a home in the U.S. in the fourth quarter, with a median price of more than $1.5 million. The latest data finds that price is down 5.8% from a year ago and 17% off its peak.
But nonetheless, for folks that have bought a home in the last 6-12 months, it's going to be somewhat painful because they're going to see the value of their home fall, here pretty significantly.
In Southern California, home prices in Anaheim were down 1.6% from a year ago. And in Los Angeles, prices are down 1.3%. Outside of the Golden State, several cities also saw declines, including Boulder, Colorado, down 2%, Boise, Idaho, where prices fell 3.4%, and Austin, Texas, where prices are down 1.3%. For Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
The Transportation Security Administration confiscated a record number of guns at airports in 2022. The total number, 6,542 of that number, 88% were loaded. Travelers are not allowed to have guns in carry-on luggage, even if the person has a concealed carry permit. Anyone who violates the rule is subject to civil penalties from the TSA and criminal charges from law enforcement. Guns are permitted in checked baggage within certain guidelines. Families may have an easier time flying together. United Airlines announcing that parents will be able to book seats next to their kids without a paying fee. United saying Monday that children under 12 years old will be able to sit next to an adult in either party at no extra charge for the family. The company says more family seating options will appear on their seat map tool immediately, and the change will go into full effect in March. We have a recall to pass along involving a popular baby formula. Reckitt says it is voluntarily recalling 2 batches of its Pro-Sobi formula. The company says it's recalling the 12.9-ounce cans at an abundance of caution because bacteria might have contaminated the formula. The recall affects 145,000 cans distributed in the United States, Guam, and Puerto Rico. So far, there is no evidence the bacteria made its way into the formula. Up next, we'll take a look at a new sweet and salty treat that is sure to tame your sweet tooth. If you're a salty sweet dessert fan, Krispy Kreme's new Reese's donuts might catch your eye. You can choose from 3 donuts, all with a peanut butter twist. For a side of salty, pick between donuts topped with pretzels, potato sticks, or salted caramel icing. If that's not enough, you can get all 3 in a salty sweet dozen box made available for a limited time. 31 minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, local parents are able to learn about some new tools in handling and supporting anxiety in children. Plus,
supporters of former President Jimmy Carter pay tribute at his Georgia nonprofit. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
local parents are interested in helping their children with anxiety, but they may not know how. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to a counselor about how parents can educate themselves on anxiety.
Parents gather at Journey Towards Hope in Joplin to learn how to help their kids deal with anxiety. The founder, Travis Boland, wanted to be proactive when he noticed an uptick in anxiety in his clients.
As I've been preparing for this workshop, I have noticed more and more people have anxiety and are stressed. And last week I have had 3 new clients that walked into my office and all 3 had anxiety.
Parents are not only using this workshop to learn about anxiety, but how to connect to their kids in a constantly changing world.
I'm going to sound like every old man on the planet, but things are different, so different than when I grew up. And the stresses they're under now are so different than when I grew up. I don't have the tools.
The Counseling Center wants to supply parents with tools so they can feel empowered rather than hopeless when their kids deal with anxiety.
And I need tools in my tool belt so that I can be the dad. Okay, hey, I know you're fighting this. This is where we're going to go. This is how we're going to get there. Just give me some time, grab my hand, and let's go.
One of the strongest tools parents have is communicating. During the workshop, parents learn how to talk through anxiety rather than adding to it.
Be aware that they're triggering the anxiety by putting too much pressure, like you have to make all A's or you have to do better at sports. But they just want their children to be their best. But sometimes parents aren't aware that their words are sometimes what's giving their child that more anxiety.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Journey Towards Hope is planning more free workshops for children and parents. The Quapaw Nation today hosted a STEAM fair to encourage local youth to engage in education. Officials with the nation wants to celebrate and encourage students to enter and participate in fields of science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Participants from several area tribes participated and showed their peers their research for the presentation.
Because the 5 areas that we're talking about, the science, technology, engineering, art, and math, these are all areas that, in order to succeed in today's world, these are areas that kids need. They need these areas in their furthering not only their education, but in everyday life.
For more information, you can find it on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is hosting the 30th Annual National Junior Duck Stamp Art Contest. During the program, participants will learn more about types of waterfowl and what judges look for in artwork. Participants will create original artwork using watercolors, crayon, or pencil.
So at the state level, the contest is open to K through 12 students, and we judge by grade level in groups, and we pick winners from each grade level, and then that artwork is displayed on a rotating exhibit throughout the state. So it's a great chance for kids to display their art, or people to see their art.
Kids from K through 12 are encouraged to participate, and entries are due by March 15th. The National Park Service is set to build a new addition underneath the Lincoln Memorial to pay tribute to the monument's civil rights history. It will feature exhibits and presentations highlighting the history of the monument as a backdrop for civil rights demonstrations throughout history. The National Park Service says that includes the achievements of Abraham Lincoln and individuals such as Marian Anderson and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The $69 million project was first announced in 2016. Since news first broke of Jimmy Carter's decision to receive hospice care at home, messages of kindness and support have poured in from the country's oldest living former president. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more.
On this President's Day, the public is paying tribute to former President Jimmy Carter as he receives hospice care at his home in Georgia.
All the way through, it's been a life of service.
Since leaving the White House in 1981, former President Jimmy Carter has devoted his life to promoting peace initiatives and human rights, the 98-year-old doing much of that work through the Carter Center in Atlanta. For more than 40 years, the nonprofit has served people around the world by working to eradicate diseases and strengthen public health.
Even in a post-presidency, the man did more for the world to profile what a down-to-earth person, a person that has beliefs. That person can do that as long as they're passionate about it.
On Monday, the organization further reflected on its founder's legacy, writing, quote, "On President's Day and every day, we are grateful for the privilege of being part of President Carter's ongoing commitment to serving humanity." Over the weekend, dozens of people toured the Carter Center's grounds to pay their respects. Others made their way to Maranatha Baptist Church in Plains, Georgia, where Carter has spent decades serving the community. There, they reflected on what the former president means to his hometown.
He's made us a better town.
Everything he does is with dignity and with honor, and he respects all people.
At a 2019 church service, Carter told the congregation that he was completely at ease with death. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Doug is next with another look at the forecast, and later, President Biden is receiving backlash for not visiting East Palestine, Ohio.
The Biden administration is continuing to face criticism for its handling of the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. I'm Garrett Tenney with the details coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures great, upper 60s for highs. Had a few clouds during the afternoon, but not much in the way of wind, which is always nice to see. It looks pretty good right now. Here's a nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, look at these temps. So yesterday, we got out of the deep freeze, made it to 60 and added about 8 or 9 degrees on top of that for us today. And we're going to stay fairly mild as we go through the next couple days. It's 49 in Fort Scott, 45 in Independence, Miami at 45. We have Neosho at 48, Carthage also sitting at 48. We can check outside. Here's 7th Year's range line sitting at 47. A southerly wind is light at about 3. Humidity is at 54%. All right, through the night, gets a little cold, drop back upper 30s. Quick rebound back to 51, partly sunny skies by 10, even though we are going to have clouds out there, and clouds are going to thicken up as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Let's call it partly cloudy skies for us right now, but here's our next storm system. We got a little area of low pressure right off the coast of California. This will track out and give us chances for showers and thunderstorms late tomorrow night into Wednesday, and then this system will bring in colder temperatures by the time we head into the second half of the work week. Tonight, not too bad, upper 30s to near 40 for an overnight low. Partly sunny skies by noon, upper 50s to lower 60s in our southern counties. As we get into the afternoon, southern counties press 70, northern counties 65 to about 68. Clouds thickening up, but still it's going to be a pretty good day. We are going to have these southeasterly winds, and that's going to really pick up as we go through tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Clouds thicken tomorrow night, scattered showers and thunderstorms by Wednesday morning. Here's 7 a.m. Some of these guys could be a little bit stronger as they drive in. I don't expect them to be severe, but they could be a little bit stronger. So here's 9 a.m. Heaviest is out of here by 11 a.m. We get a little back batch right around the noon hour, and then we break out, see sunshine, it's windy, and we press into the upper 60s once again. But by Wednesday night into Thursday, here comes a cold front. This is going to drop in the cooler air that we'll see for the second half of the week. All right, day planner, 39 to start, 61 by noon. We'll drop back to about 65 as we head into the afternoon. The winds will start to pick up. We'll have winds gusting near 30 for us tomorrow, but they get moving on Wednesday. We're going to have winds gusting near 40, maybe a little bit higher than that by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon. So it is going to be windy with this next storm system. 67 tomorrow, 69 on Wednesday, 45 Thursday, down to 22 Friday morning, so quite a bit cooler. Late afternoon showers Friday, a couple waves over the weekend, rain, snow chances Monday, another storm system late next week, so it stays active the next 10 days.
Yeah, that certainly looks like typical four-state weather.
Yeah, it really does.
A
all
lot
over.
of stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up in sports, the Carl Junction girls aim for the outright conference championship tonight against Webb City. Plus, Pitt State and Missouri Southern sweep the weekly MIAA Players of the Week awards. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
We have a COC rivalry game tonight in Webb City. The Webb City girls welcome in the Carl Junction Bulldogs in the final game of the regular season. The Cardinals are 15-9 coming into this one. On the other side, CJ 24-1, ranked #1 in the state in Class 5. First quarter, Sammy Mancini, nice fake and turnaround jumper. 22 points, 12 boards for Mancini tonight. Webb City leads going to the second. In the second, underclassmen step up for CJ. Sophomore Desi Williams connects from 3 from the far side. Gives the Bulldogs a 2-point lead. Williams leads CJ with 16. Then another sophomore, Shea Berge, 3 of her own. Carl Junction comes back, leads by 5 at the break. Then in the third, they add to their lead. Chloe Burke, 3 for CJ. They get it to a 9-point lead going to the fourth. Webb City, though, not going away. About 2 minutes left. Izzy Lopez, the senior, big one from deep. Cardinals tie the game, but the Bulldogs answer right back. Another 3 from Burke. Then Destiny Berge, short jumper is good here. She scores 15. Carl Junction holds off Webb City in a good one, 56-53. The Bulldogs are undefeated, outright COC champions. At the college level, the Kansas Jayhawks move up the national rankings this week. The Jayhawks are up 2 spots to number 3 in the latest AP poll released today. The KU's 22-5 overall after beating 8th-ranked Baylor on Saturday. Elsewhere in the Big 12, the Kansas State Wildcats are down 2 spots in the poll this week. They were 1-1 in the pair of Big 12 games last week, falling to Oklahoma Tuesday before bouncing back with a 6-point win over 19th-ranked Iowa State on Saturday. Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern have swept the weekly MIAA baseball and softball awards this week. Pitt State's Paxton Hayes is the MIAA softball hitter of the week after a big weekend in the Pitt Triangular against Wayne State and Drury. Hayes hit .692 in 4 games, 2 doubles, 4 home runs, and 19 RBIs. Right now, she's second in the conference with 21 total RBIs in 14 games for Pitt State. Now, the MIAA softball pitcher of the week is Missouri Southern's Avery Tallman. She made 4 appearances last week with 3 starts. Tallman picked up 3 wins and 7 strikeouts while allowing just a .269 batting average. The biggest of those 3 wins was on Sunday. Tallman threw a complete game for the Lions in their 6-2 win over 16th-ranked Southern Arkansas. Now, she has 8 wins in the circle this season, which is tied for the most in the MIAA. Now, the MIAA baseball pitcher of the week, Pitt State's Zach Shoemaker. In a start against Sioux Falls Friday, he threw 5 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits while striking out 10. Shoemaker's now 2-0 to begin the season with a .75 ERA. And 19 strikeouts in just 12 innings of work. And finally, Missouri Southern's Nate Miskowski, MIAA baseball hitter of the week. In 4 games last week, he hit .722, racked up 13 hits, 4 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Miskowski is second in the MIAA with 22 hits in 12 games. Also tied for second in the conference in home runs. He's already hit 4 this season. We want to point out for Webb City girls tonight, Brooke Stauffer, former Missouri Southern Lion, making her head coaching debut. They gave Carl Junction all they could handle tonight.
Absolutely. And then as for Carl Junction, how many sophomore names did you say for a team that's already winning conference?
Yeah, two. And they're going to be very good in the future. They're very good right now. Playoffs begin next week, I believe.
And then have you ever stood next to Avery Tallman?
Not like this close, but close enough to know that
she lives up to her last name for sure. All right, that's it for sports. We're back with more after this. Efforts continue in East Palestine, Ohio to clean up after a train derailment which led to a toxic chemical spill. While federal aid is now on the ground, some say the Biden administration should be doing more to help. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more on the story.
We should see Buttigieg, we should see the president, we should see every official involved breathing the same air, drinking the same water, staying in the hotels, visiting people's homes.
The White House is facing growing pressure to do more in response to the East Palestine train derailment in Ohio. It has now been more than 2 weeks since the wreck spilled toxic chemicals into the small community of some 4,700 people. Despite data showing the air and water are safe, there are still widespread health concerns.
It's an issue of competence and confidence. And right now, people don't know if they can drink the water. They don't know if they're going to be exposed to all this long-term damage.
Over the weekend, federal aid began arriving to ease some of those worries. Scientists and toxicology experts with the CDC, FEMA, and the Health and Human Services began testing the area. On Tuesday, the state will open a medical clinic to evaluate residents who say they are still feeling sick.
I want our people to definitely take use of those clinics, and we need to get some data together so we can have data-driven research.
Railway operator Norfolk Southern has promised to fully support the community as cleanup efforts continue. A promise Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg warned must be kept. In a sharply worded letter to the railway company Sunday, Buttigieg said, quote, Norfolk Southern must live up to its commitment to make residents whole and must also live up to its obligation to do whatever it takes to stop putting communities such as East Palestine at risk. While it's unclear if President Biden will be visiting East Palestine, former President Donald Trump is expected to come to town on Wednesday. In East Palestine, Ohio, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll look at a preview of what is coming up this week on Fox. This week on Fox TV, anthology series Accused is directed by Billy Porter. Plus, more special guest stars join Fantasy Island and Call Me Kat. And it's pop and rock disco nostalgia on The Masked Singer. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a look at what's coming up.
My fantasy is for my family to be as happy as they look.
Monday on Fantasy Island, it's Instagram versus reality check. When a woman wishes to transform her family into perfect Insta versions of themselves.
Keith is an imposter.
Then on Alert Missing Persons Unit, Keith's identity is called into question when Sydney shares details about the day of his disappearance.
I froze up in the field.
Tuesday starts with 911 Lone Star and a rescue complaint against Marjan, forcing her to make a challenging decision. Then Accused brings an episode directed by award-winning icon Billy Porter called Robin's Story, about a drag queen who falls for a closeted man living a double life and devastating consequences which follow.
Our hero / heroine falls in love with a closeted Southie Boston man who ultimately can't get through his shame, and that's his demise. And our hero / heroine gets to free herself and find her voice.
Wednesday, contestants are having the time of their lives on Fox's The Masked Singer with ABBA Night, performing hits like Dancing Queen. That's followed by Special Forces World's Toughest Test, where remaining recruits take on lessons of survival and leadership. Thursday, see how the competition stacks up with a sandwich challenge on Next Level Chef.
Remain calm.
Then get to know the team better on the new workplace comedy Animal Control. That's followed by Call Me Kat with guest star David James Elliott as Max's dad. It's final! And Fox Sports rounds out the week with WWE Friday Night SmackDown. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with the video of a baby sloth at the Denver Zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.